How open is it? And then stuff like that. So the leader is basically the linchpin that holds the entire clan together, organizes and pulls it all together.
So here we are seeing another match of Team Defender, one of the new multiplayer modes for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. You know, this map in particular, I think I actually really like, especially for Team Defender, because there's a couple of places where you can really hold up and draw into killing fields. I also think that this is a great map for domination. That's the thing, is every map can be played. There's 16 maps coming out to start, and every single one can be played within any mode.
Yeah.
And also there's hardcore mode making a return for people like me that love to play hardcore in particular.
Hardcore, bare bones.
So will all the map modes, you know, Team Defender, all that, are all those available when you buy the game, or are some of these earned within the first levels that you're leveling up? Like, is it first, you know, you're doing TDM to start?
Correct, yeah. When you first get the game, only some of the standard playlists are available to you. And as you rank up and become more proficient, then you're going to unlock more of the advanced game modes, more of the advanced playlists. Because we've broken multiplayer down into standard playlists and advanced playlists. So advanced playlists are things like hardcore modes, things like mosh pits, things that are typically, you know, not you jump in, you obviously know what's going on, because we don't want the new players jumping in there,
right,
being confused.
You kind of warm them up with Team Deathmatch, where their only goal is to kill someone.
Exactly.
And then you can get them used to the idea of actually completing objectives additionally as well.
Yeah, but obviously, you know, the veteran Call of Duty players who have been playing for years, they're going to jump in and unlock those other game modes, you know, super quickly.
I think that what we just saw there was actually a really cool example of what a support class can do for their team, adding a ballistic vest that everyone on the team can kind of pick up, get that little bit of extra boost to health. I mean, I don't think it's anything that's necessarily like, it's not going to make that person invincible, but with a whole team with vests, it can make the difference between a push being successful or failing.
Yeah, especially in objective game modes. Like if you have a good support player, he's throwing that down just at the cover point before a dom plays. So the guy who's going to run in and try to capture, he can pick that up. Or, you know, if he sees somebody running for the flag, throw it down so that guy who's going to pick up the flag can get it, so he has a little bit more support.
I don't know if you guys can speak to it at all, but are there ever times when you're kind of designing these games that you ever have to kill an idea for a multiplayer mode or something like that, where you're just like, you know, that ultimate challenge as a designer of like killing something that you realize just isn't as fun as you thought. You know, on paper it sounded like, like it's going to be an amazing idea, and then you get it and you're like, oh, I guess we need to kill this because
it's not just for multiplayer, but you know, spec ops and things like that. The worst thing is, at least for me, is you come up with something and you're pretty excited about it. You've been thinking about it for a couple of days, and you write it down, and then you bring it to the team, and they're just like, that's kind of stupid.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's like,
I'm sure that must happen in campaign as well, where you have like an idea for maybe a set piece or something that isn't coming together the way that it was hoped.
But you know, with these maps, a lot of them are also we'll build them in block worlds, and you'll play through them and not only see if they're good design, but if the mode will work as well. These take you know, a lot of R&D and you know, a lot of playing and iterating on them.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to like weapons and kill streaks and stuff that you're adding to, the big filter that comes down is how balanced is it? Is this overpowered? Is it fun? Does it slow down the gameplay? Because if it meets any of those things, if it slows down gameplay or you're too overpowered, it's just something that's not going to go into the game. And we'll look at different iterations of it. Like at one point we had, you know, we ended with that mini tank that you could drive around that has limitations to it. It's very slow. It's going to take you a while to get across. Once you're getting hit, it starts going all static and stuff like that. So there's balancing stuff to it. Originally, we had full-size tanks that you could call into a multiplayer map. They come crashing through a wall, and it would cover a specific point. And you look at like, okay, we like that idea. We like, okay, tanks and multiplayer, but how can we do it in a way that's right for Modern Warfare, that stays with the, you know, fast-paced gameplay, that sticks with that balance, but is done right?
But on the other hand, when they started talking about kill confirmed and bringing that up, everyone kind of agreed that sounds like a hit.
Yeah, there's actually a Twitter user named Modern Warfare 3 Research who says what can be driven while playing online Modern Warfare 3. Obviously, there's no drivable vehicles.
No drivable, yeah.
You got the little tank. You're not in it.
Has that?
Yeah, you're not in it, but you're controlling it.
Yeah. So is there
some of the? I mean, they're driving some of the
smaller UAVs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is there ever been sort of the idea of, you know, toying around with sort of drivable vehicles, you know, like a tank or I guess the levels in general are small enough, focused fights that you don't necessarily need vehicles.
Exactly, and that's a specific design decision. Because we've looked at vehicles in the past and played around with them in our multiplayer. I mean, obviously Treyarch has done their own.
Yeah,
things.
they did it.
But in Modern
World of
Warfare, what vehicles do is they changed the design of the map. They changed the design of the pacing of the multiplayer thing. So when you put in a
The
vehicle,
balancing, everything
All of a sudden,
about
people
it.
have to think about anti-vehicle weaponry.
anti-vehicle weaponry, you start spreading out the map so they're not so close quarters, they're not fast-paced, you're not always in the fight. And that can be fun if that's what you're designing for, but it's not the style of multiplayer that Modern Warfare is about. We're all about that very fast-paced, infantry-focused combat, and you start losing that when you start introducing vehicles. So there's ways that you could do it, but it's a different experience. And this is the experience that we like the most. And that was
Matter
a
of fact-
horrible knife. That was a horrible attempt at knifing.
Matter of fact, in some ways, this game goes back to some of the gun-on-gun stuff that was original because it felt
we
like
go.
it was pulling away a little bit in the last game.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that if there's one thing Call of Duty's always been known for is it hasn't necessarily been the playable vehicle sections and stuff like that. Like those are nice because they help break up the pacing of something like a campaign. But when everyone thinks about Call of Duty, it's thinking about looking down the barrel of a gun, shooting
Yeah.
at people as a person, not as a tank. And I think that's probably the emphasis that.
Nice.
It is. I mean, Robert's right. It's not, we think about this stuff all the time. We'll try stuff out, and if it's not right for the game, you have to say that. That's a different game.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that's just one of the hardest things is like, or maybe you're not for you because you've been designing games for as long as you have, but learning to like kill your cool idea that you had, at 2 in the morning, you're like, wow, this is going to be so game changing, and then you realize it's just
Yeah.